All right, so what we're gonna be doing today is we're gonna be reacting to some anime TikToks, giving our takes, whether we agree or disagree. Everybody we react to, make sure you guys go follow them, show them some love. So let's get right into this. We got Tizzy here. Obviously, he's talking about the Jojo Steel Ball Run release, which I think is perfect because I've definitely talked about it on stream a lot as well. So I definitely want to hear what he has to say.
Newer Jojo fans literally have no idea how good they have it with the Steel Ball Run schedule. Yesterday, I posted a video explaining how the Steel Ball Run schedule is an actual good thing, and majority of the comment section was saying, oh well, why can't they just release all the episodes weekly instead of making us wait between episodes? A lot of y'all don't seem to understand that a part in JoJo's is not equivalent to one season of anime. Part 7 alone is going to have over 40 episodes. Jujutsu Kaisen Season 3 is 12 episodes, and now Jujutsu Kaisen fans have to wait a year for Season 4, yet they're not complaining. Bleach 1000 Year Blood War came out in 2022, and each course has about 12 episodes, and the fans had to wait 4 years for 4 courses, yet no Bleach fans are complaining. Even One Piece has gone seasonal as well. Meanwhile, the most JoJo fans have to wait in between courses is 6 months. This isn't 2015 anymore, where anime studios could pump out 50 weekly episodes non-stop. No anime studio is doing that nowadays.
All right, so I'm gonna let him finish, but so far what he's saying is pretty factual. I think the release schedules for anime, when you want to say maybe around 2020 or so, have definitely shifted to current day. Like present day, we're getting 12 episode core releases. When My Hero was going crazy, it was 24 episodes minimum. We were getting 24 episodes. Now it's down to 12. We're used to having seasonal anime be 24 episodes. Now we're getting a half of a season, and that's considered to be a season. So with that, I do agree that the way anime is being released nowadays is definitely on the shorter side. I can't come to the defense of Netflix here on the way JoJo's is being released, is because we've already seen this happen before with fans literally letting them know how they want this to be released. It's one thing if this is a new anime that's never been released before and Netflix decides to release it in a manner that people don't really appreciate and they're not gravitating towards, and then this is the first time we're seeing it. But we've been through this already with Stone Ocean. When Stone Ocean released, they dropped it in batches and people were like, no, we do not want that. We want you guys to release it as a weekly thing because people want to have the conversations. JoJo's feels like it lasts longer if it's releasing weekly. People can actually dissect episode by episode rather than having to, you know, cover 12 episodes in one sitting. And to me, I was on that camp. I was like, I love JoJo's, but I would like the weekly release. And Netflix, they heard about this, and then we're seeing what was going on with Steel Ball Run. Everybody was kind of taken aback because they're like, we told y'all what we would rather watch and how we would rather watch it, and you just kind of ignored it. Let me let him finish because I think there was the release schedule that he showed during this I actually want to look at.
It is so obvious that the people who are complaining about Steel Ball Run's release schedule were not around when Stone Ocean was completely butchered. They weren't even around when the original JoJo Fridays were a thing.
Yeah, so I mean, I was definitely around for that, but I do agree that the way anime is being released now is definitely different. We saw that first episode, which was March 2026, and it looks like in September, we're getting 11 episodes. Then June, we're getting 12. June of next year, we're getting 12. And then October of next year, we are getting 10 episodes. And then May 2028 is when it's finishing. Okay, so for me, I'm not even upset about the 12 episodes, 10 episodes releases because that's the climate right now that we're in. I do feel like this March 1 episode 47-minute special was confusing because this was not relayed to us beforehand. So to me, I'm not too sure about all that stuff, to be honest with you. I still feel like there should have been a better way for them to release this. That doesn't mean this season's going to be bad. Like, I enjoyed the 47-minute special, but when you have such large gaps between the releases, it does take away. Again, that's where I'm at with Tizzy. I think he is definitely right though about the new way anime is released. And I don't know if you guys really enjoy that. Do you guys enjoy that? Would you rather have 12 episodes of like great animation and then you have to wait like 6 to 9 months for the next 12? Or would you want 24 straight up, but maybe the quality drops like a little bit? I'm used to the 24 because I feel like there's so much more to cover. 12 episodes is not enough content for you to really sink your teeth into a series and like talk about it. It works for My Hero Academia, so I'm blown away that other anime, especially nowadays, are like going on this 12 episode run. I think what it is probably is that studios are afraid to put too much behind one series. So they're kind of like testing the waters where it's like, all right, we don't have to produce 24 episodes to know if people are rocking with the series. Now we only need to produce 12 episodes. And if people aren't rocking with it, we can just can it right here. But I do think the issue that you run into with this method is the ZOM 100 method. ZOM 100, the studio did a great job making the series, but the studio was barely keeping it together. Tiberius, thank you so much for the super chat, bro. You said, we don't have many series that are 13 or less episodes these days, like Erased, Baccano, Angel Beats. We have Takapi and Edge Runners, but it's few and far between. That is true. A lot of series are longer and have more content. JoJo's is definitely one of them. This is why I was saying, if you're Netflix and you have JoJo's, especially part 7, JoJo's fans that read the manga, they say part 7 is the best part. No lie. If you have part 7 and you see that people from part 6 were telling you, I don't want you to release it this way, I want it weekly like this, why would you then do a 47-minute special and then be like, I'll see you guys in 6 months? To me, that's like a slap in the face to your core audience, which is why the JoJo's fans killed Netflix. They literally turned up on Netflix for this very reason. I feel like it was just bound to happen. But yeah, man, shout out Tizzy. Make sure you guys show Tizzy some love, and let's move on. Okay, so we gotta we gotta talk about this. So we have my guy Khalil Dog here saying MGK is a calamity grade LARPer. Oh man. So I don't know if you guys are familiar with this. I definitely listened to the song, but I just kept quiet. I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna let it rock. But a lot of people had a lot to say. Let's definitely dive in here.
I'm going Gojo, 6-eye technique, Demon Slayer, Katana Slayer.
Yo, not the boom. Not the boom coming in.
All demigods must bleed. Hunter X, oh, like Kilo, going Godspeed. But we originate chill. Fushiguro. Oh my God.
Yo, the booms are killing me.
Ladies and gentlemen, we may have just witnessed the first appearance of real life curse speech. Because what the hell did I just hear? Did I just hear this man say 6 eyes technique? Is MGK a calamity grade LARPer? Him and Logan Paul are having an anime LARP domain clash. I really hate to sound like that guy, but brother, the 6 eyes are literally just Gojo's eyes. The Limitless is his technique.
Yeah.
I would also like to point out that he said Hunter x Hunter instead of Hunter Hunter, but I'll let that one slide because I still see a lot of people make that mistake. Also, Megumi's hand sign you tried to do, you're missing a finger, okay? It's a little bit off. I'm just saying, you need to correct these mistakes, MGK, because if you love anime as much as you say you do, you need to do a better job of protecting yourself from the LARP allegations. When it comes to having references in songs, there's ways to do it tastefully. Meg Thee Stallion's been doing it for years.
Facts.
But to say verses like, I'm Krillin with the Destructo Disc, Ryuk with the Death Note, Evangelion with the missiles, we get it, bro. You like anime too. But throwing a bunch of references in a song doesn't just make it good. It just sounds kind of cringe. Especially when you get some of them wrong.
Okay. Rob, get this out my screen. Yo, let me be honest, man. This is real. This is a real song. It's not like MGK can't rap, but this, to me, it definitely felt like his publicist or whoever was like, yo, anime is hot right now. I think a great idea is for you to just name drop a bunch of different anime, and then you're able to hit multiple different fandoms. You know what it felt like SEO optimization. When you put your keywords in or your hashtags in, if you make a video and you try to just put hashtag anime, hashtag One Piece, hashtag Hunter Hunter, that's literally what this song felt like. Like he was just spamming keywords. If you try to search it up, you're a fan of anything, it will pop up. And to me, I'm like, yeah, this one ain't it, bro. Now, I will say, I don't think MGK is a LARPer, because you still need to be an anime fan to know these things. Your casual anime fan probably doesn't know that Gojo has 6 eyes. So the fact that he even knew that is something. Your casual anime fan is probably not going to know that stuff. But there's a lot of nerdcore artists out there that really find very creative ways to drop anime references, but they're not just your basic, you know, I drop a spirit bomb like Goku. It's like, brother, we left that back in 2006. Now we're getting some more creative bars, and there's a lot more creative artists out there. Keats did it amazing. I would recommend you guys check him out. Rustage obviously has legacy. There's so many out there. Can Steady, you got Gen 1 with Big Man Blastoise. There's so many more creative songs out there, and I wish MGK, like, if he's really trying to get into like the nerd course type of thing, tap in with them. The Pokemon Cypher, Shofu and all them, tap in with those guys. They do this. So for me, I'm like, what are we doing here? It just felt very like cash grabby. I'm gonna leave that where it is. Again, I will say, yeah, the song wasn't great. I don't think he's a LARPer. A LARPer is not gonna know that stuff at all, unless he didn't write it. Again, Get MGK off the screen. All right. Let's move on before I get jumped. We're gonna go over to Ren Rants, and this is him talking about Kagurabachi, I believe.
I came across a post earlier saying Kagurabachi is just quality slop. You only like it because it's well written, well drawn, has good paneling and good action. And you know what? You couldn't be more right, and that's the problem. You see, I'm fully confident that Kagurabachi is going to go through the exact same problem that every popular shonen action anime with good animation has gone through over the course of the past 5 years. And that's that the show is going to come out, everybody is going to love it and glaze it to high heaven, and that's going to bug some people that it's that popular. And they're going to start saying, oh, this show isn't actually as good as everybody thinks it is. It happened to Demon Slayer, it happened to Jujutsu Kaisen, it happened to Solo Leveling. And you know what I have to say about all that? You guys just don't like shonen anime. I think there's a massive difference between comparing two anime to each other in a reasonable discussion than just hopping on the internet and saying, haha, this series is too popular, so I'm gonna start hating on it now because your series shouldn't be as popular as it is. I'm not trying to say that JJK and Kagurabachi don't have their own problems when it comes to the writing of each series, but I'm sick and tired of opening my phone to social media anytime a new action anime comes out and seeing people go, well, actually, this isn't as good as this series, even though it has better animation and better action. I say let people glaze what they want to glaze, unless they're Boruto fans. Then you can say whatever you want to them.
Oh, okay. This is a topic. I'm in the process of reading Kagurabachi right now, so I'm not caught up on the manga by any means. Hopefully I catch up later on in the month, but I do feel like we are definitely in an age where anything that's popular will get hate. It comes with the territory. Now, I do think that when you're comparing it to certain series, especially like a lot of the series that we are seeing now get the praise, when you're comparing it to older series definitely had a lot more to offer, typically because the way they were released and how much content was covered in them. I feel like we were just talking about it earlier, that anime nowadays is released in shorter stints rather than a long-running shonen like Naruto, Bleach, or even One Piece, Dragon Ball, whatever. Because they had more content, because they were released longer, they're running weekly for years, people have more to discuss with those anime. Whereas nowadays, we're only getting like 12 episodes. If you're not lore dumping content immediately, people are gonna be like, oh, your series is not as good because the writing is not touching the other series. Because you gotta remember, they're taking the 12 episodes of your series and they're comparing it to 1,000 episodes of One Piece or 900 episodes of Naruto. That's what people are doing now. I feel like that's kind of what's going to possibly happen to Kagurabachi as well. I do agree with Ren on this. I could see it happening, but I don't think that means that Kagurabachi is, you know, a bad series, but it's definitely going to be popular and it's definitely going to suffer from that. And again, the only way I feel like you can escape that nowadays is you need to be a series like Lord of Mysteries. Lord of Mysteries is a series where they're just downloading content information. By episode 1, you're like, whoa, what is going on? And it's a series you have to go back and rewatch, and it's so intricate that it's like the one thing you can't say is that that series does not have content. Kagurabachi, I can at least tell you from reading the manga, I would say like the power system and the storyline, it's very, very entertaining, but it's not something crazy that we've never seen before in shonen anime. I can already know, I'm predicting now, that's gonna be one of the biggest things we're gonna see, is that, oh, if you like Kagurabachi, just watch this, just watch that. It's going to happen. The comparisons are going to pull up for sure, but I do think it's a fun series. I hope it takes off. I heard like a lot of people that had an opportunity to see it actually at Anime Expo were loving it. They were like, yo, the first episode was crazy, like it's gonna be JJK level. And I'm like, I could see it. The power system is simple enough where you don't have to rack your brain to try to figure out all this other crazy techniques and everything. It's just very simple. You have blades, they're enchanted with powers, and then the other side are the sorcerers, and you just have to figure out those battles. Honestly, when I'm reading Kagurabachi, I like it, especially during the fights, because it gives me kind of like a JoJo's feel with stand battles. It's like you have to really figure out, okay, what's their ability and how will I counter it, but it feels like JoJo's because these abilities are so wacky and bizarre. But again, I think Ren's spitting here. I think it's definitely going to be an issue, and unless you drop a series like Lord of Mysteries where it's just so high level, even if you have a short amount of episodes, you can't say anything about it. I've never seen anybody say Lord of Mysteries isn't well written. Never. Max, you said, Rob, were you able to see the episode at AX? No, I wasn't. I was running around at AX. I wish I got a chance to see it, but I know people who did see it. They basically said when Kagurabachi drops next year, it's going to be the biggest anime. Shout out to Rembrandts. Make sure you guys show them some love too. So let's move on to the next one. Yo, so no, this was actually hilarious. I saw this actually already, but I was like, nah, I gotta react to this with you guys. So we have JJK X Potential Man.
Hey, little boy. What's your name?
Potential Man. Holy shit. It's Potential Man. This looks like a job for Potential Man.
He has 0 feats, 0 relevance, and the potential to rival even me. If and when, but never is.
I screw up all the time, but that is being a bum, and that's my greatest potential. Do not fear! Potential Man is here! Did you say potential?
With great potential comes great responsibility.
Truth, justice, and the potential way.
Are you Megumi because you're Potential Man? Or are you Potential Man because you're Megumi?
I believe there's potential in all of us. It keeps us honest, gives us strength, and most importantly, makes us bums. This is the story of how I became the world's greatest bum.
Oh my gosh, bro. I had to show you guys that because I was crying laughing when I saw that. Yeah, justice for Megumi, man. I don't know how many people are JJK manga readers, so I can't go too crazy. Megumi is definitely the potential man of JJK. Without a question, no debates whatsoever. We get to see Big Raga come outside and all this stuff, and you're thinking, wow, end this series, Megumi is about to be him. And then look what happens. So, yeah, he is definitely potential man for sure, man. That, oh my gosh, yo, it's so stupid, but it's funny. I had to show you guys that. All right, let's move on. Let's move on. So we got my friend Rachel here doing a blind anime ranking with Ren, I believe. So let's see how this goes, man.
This is a blind anime ranking. Once you put it on the board, you can't change its placement, but I will give you one skip.
Code Geass. It's hard because I know what the potential is for me to pick something.
Yeah, there's like
that
70
should
in
be.
here.
There's 70?
Yeah. And yet still. No.
Go Geass at number 2. All right, the video's done. That's a great pick. The video's over. Code Geass getting love. I'm here. Let's see what else happens.
Geass is that good. Haikyuu. My fiance got me into Haikyuu. We all know how good Haikyuu is.
Exactly.
I just still know that there's better
Why am I
series
hearing
that
a
are in
butt,
there.
bro?
I'm gonna put Haikyuu at 5. Mashal. Okay.
Okay, so Haikyuu at 5. I'm with that. I mean, I don't know, because if he pulls Hajime no Ippo, I'm not gonna lie. Hajime no Ippo is my GOAT sports anime. It really is. So let's see.
I haven't
Mashal?
seen Mashal. I know Mashal isn't bad.
Oh.
So I'm gonna put it as a 9. Fruits Basket.
Okay, Mashal 9 is fine. Fruits Basket,
We all
here
know
go.
it's peak.
Yeah, yes.
We know it's peak. You were waiting for me to say
And you're
something.
gonna say but.
Is Haikyuu better than Fruits Basket?
No.
You don't think so?
No.
I think I might agree, but I don't think it's better than Code Geass. So what I will do is put Fruits Basket at 4. Give me.
That's
you know
fair.
What
That's fair. That's fair. Fruits Basket is like one of the best romance anime from all the romance anime fans out there. Like that's what they'll tell you. Fruits Basket is in that conversation. But I'm all right with this list so far, man.
You know what I want? Naruto. That's not what I want. Naruto stands. Don't kill me. I love Naruto, but I have to play this smart. I know in
Naruto at number 6. Playing it safe. I know what that number 1 spot is. If Naruto didn't make it to number 1, that means we're saving a seat for the king. That's all I know. I mean, I probably would have put Naruto at 3 just because of how iconic it is. It really is like one of the best series ever made in just anime in general. So I probably would have put it at number 3, but I'm not mad at the 6 pick. I'm really not, because the Haikyuu fans, they pull up, bro. And the only reason why I would have done that is because Haikyuu is not my number 1 sports anime. If this were Hajime no Ippo versus Naruto, it would be very, very tough for me. I'll probably put Naruto at 3.
my heart what's in there. Your Lion April. Is it better than Naruto? I don't think so. So I'm gonna put Your Lion April as a 7. ReZero. I haven't seen ReZero.
You do I
think I'm gonna use my skip.
Dang, where would I put ReZero? I still got to catch up on the latest season. I started it, but I didn't finish it. I don't know, because I can't put ReZero over Naruto or anything like that. So ReZero might have to hold 8.
Oh, Cowboy Bebop. This is solid. 3.
Ooh,
Reborn.
Cowboy Bebop at 3? All right, Reborn as a vending machine. I've never seen this. Never.
You were waiting for this. You were.
Womp, womp, womp.
Where's
Yeah,
Bleach?
I don't know. I've never seen that.
Solo Leveling. Okay. Haven't seen Solo Leveling either. Honestly, from what I have heard, I think it's appropriate to put this at an 8. I need a solid
Okay.
one. It's fuck.
Wait, what was it? Bleach? Oh, wow. No
He took his
way.
risk, and it paid off. Wow.
I'm hyped. What am I hyped for? This doesn't mean anything. Everyone knows Bleach is number one. All right. If One Piece was up here, it'd be solid 2. But listen, Bleach always number 1 Bleach fan, always reporting for duty.
Okay, so Bleach number 1. We're in the era of 1,000-Year Blood War. Core 4. Void said Naruto better. Hey man, Bleach is up right now. Bleach versus Naruto is definitely a convo. I feel like if it were before 1,000-Year Blood War, 90% of the anime fandom would have just said Naruto, and that would have been it. Now that we are in the anime release, I feel like the conversation can definitely shift. I have not seen one bad episode of this arc yet. The only thing you could really point to is that Bleach had filler episodes, but Naruto also has filler. And then the fact that Bleach had a long hiatus. Naruto did not have to deal with that. If Bleach fans want to make a case that Bleach is better than Naruto, I think right now is the best chance to do it. Y'all know One Piece my goal. If One Piece got drawn, that would have been my number 1. But hey man, I love to see the big 3 getting love, man. No matter what, I love all 3 series. So Eddie said, duh, it's the same studio. Again, like I said, Kubo is doing something that other mangaka weren't doing, and that's actively storyboarding stuff that did not happen in the manga that is canon, stuff that he didn't get to add that he wants to add to the anime. So it gives even manga readers an extra incentive to watch the anime. That's something I wish we got from Oda. I would love Oda to animate the things that were off screen. If we got to see off screen Blackbeard, if we got to see the Rocky Port incident, if we got to see the Ace Light novel, if we got to see Enel go to the moon, are you kidding me? I would love that. So Bleach fans are eating right now. They get that. All right, let's move on. So we have a Mount Rushmore of anime. Now you guys know how I feel about Mount Rushmores already. We've done a stream on Mount Rushmore. I've given my anime Mount Rushmore many times in the past, but I feel like because of what the Mount Rushmore represents with the presidents and how they revolutionized the game, me personally, I don't think anime Mount Rushmore means what are your favorite 4 anime, because the Mount Rushmore that we have right now, it's not everyone's favorite 4 presidents, right? That's not why they're there. They're there because of certain things that they revolutionized in the creation of the country. So when I'm looking at what anime have helped revolutionize the anime industry, they're not all going to be in my top 4, right? But I think they deserve to be there. So somebody said Dragon Ball first, Naruto second, Pokemon third, and then Sailor Moon, not One Piece or Bleach. That's what you said, Daniel. For me, I would definitely agree with Dragon Ball being in there. Naruto being in there, I don't think so. Pokemon, I do agree with. So I'm with DBZ. I'm also with Pokemon because all of them revolutionized the anime industry in a certain way. Dragon Ball popularized anime in the West. It's not the first anime. Popularizing anime in the West is definitely given to Dragon Ball Z. They have credit for that. You said Gundam, now we're cooking. Gundam and what it's done for Mega Anime, that's Gundam for sure. And you could throw that in there. Pokemon, to me, is another series that needs to be on this list because of what it's done for just the anime to video game pipeline and vice versa. Pokemon is literally the master class. It really is. Everybody wants to be like Pokemon. Even if people like Digimon more, you could like Yu-Gi-Oh more. I'm seeing some people drop Yu-Gi-Oh. I'm not talking about what you like more. This is a matter of what series or which series have revolutionized the anime industry. Pokemon is that. Sailor Moon, the magical girl genre. Shoujo, Sailor Moon is literally the mother of that. Doesn't have to be the first one, but popularizing it, making it a thing where now you have Madoka Magica, you have all these other series. That's Sailor Moon. Claptrap, you said Ippo is the blueprint for sports anime. Shoot, it's tough for me. Ippo is my favorite sports anime, but it's tough for me. Pokezak, you said Astro Boy. I can see Astro Boy being here. Trey, what's good, Trey? You said Saint Seiya was a blueprint for a lot of anime. Yeah. But Gundam, Dragon Ball, the last 2, no idea. I do think Pokemon needs to be in there. And then you could either put Sailor Moon or a series that I believe, and this is where like a lot of people kind of disagree with me on this, but when it comes to the isekai genre, I always said I think SAO deserves a seat. What we have to understand, it's just a matter of which genre of anime you consider to be more popular and more iconic. If you think the magical girl genre is more iconic, you would throw Sailor Moon in there. If you think mech anime is more iconic, you would throw Gundam in there. But if you believe isekai are more iconic, you would throw SAO in there. I'm not the biggest isekai fan out there, but what SAO has done to the anime industry with isekai, to me, it's unbelievable. I literally have never seen anything like this. No other genre of anime gets pumped out this much than isekai. There is a new isekai every day. And I'm not saying SAO was the first isekai, but it popularized isekai. I know people are gonna come in here, hack and all that stuff. I hear you. But what popularized isekai was Sword Art Online. Factual, 100%. And after SAO, we've been having non-stop. We have vending machine. Yo, there's an isekai every 5 minutes. Shows that we've never heard of are dropping. Shield Hero which is a really good isekai, but it's an isekai. A lot of isekai point back to Sword Art Online. It's really tough because even if isekai aren't big in the West, in Japan, there's isekai it's, you guys will really be blown away, man. I get the Gundam hype and I get what Sailor Moon did for the magical girl genre, but I'm like, there's no other genre out right now that's bigger really than isekai outside of Shonen. Shonen is like the main one. Shonen is massive because of like the titans of like the big three and then Dragon Ball and stuff, right? But underneath that, like isekai, bro, it's crazy because I feel like in the West, we don't even really watch isekai. We watch Shonen mainly, and then people gravitate to like romance anime and whatever. Around the world, this isekai, bro, the isekai genre is crazy right now. Let's watch this TikTok because we've been here for a minute. Let's see what they pick.
What is your like favorite? And what are you watching now?
I was gonna ask you your Mount Rushmore. It's difficult because I think One Piece is the greatest story ever told.
Correct.
Then Digimon also has to be on my Mount Rushmore.
God, that's so based.
Which one?
That's so impossibly based.
But it's also
Tamers or original?
Well, Tamers is my favorite, but like I just want the franchise, please.
That's so impossible.
So it looks like they are going strictly off of their favorite four, which is what a lot of people do when they do anime Mount Rushmore. They say my Mount Rushmore is my favorite four anime. To me, that's never what Mount Rushmore meant, because I don't look at the Mount Rushmore and say, oh, these are my favorite four presidents. I'm looking at it as what did they each bring to the table that got their faces carved into this rock. They all had like some big revolutionary aspect to them. I look at it and I say, okay, which anime have revolutionized the anime industry? I don't look at it as your top four, but I get it. If people want to make it their top four, that's fine. But I think your top four favorite anime is a different list than your Mount Rushmore.
I would just like the I would just like the intellectual property place.
Cool.
Oh, and then I don't know. Like the hipster in me wants to say Beck Mongolian Chop Squad.
What is? Please pull that back.
It's a 26 episode anime about a Rage Against the Machine style rock band in Tokyo.
Stop this.
And they and this kid like doesn't know, he's 15 years old and he just doesn't have friends, and he meets this guy with this Les Paul with bullets in it. It's just like, just stick with me and my friends and everything will be okay. And he buys him this Telecaster and he meets this girl and his life just changes because he starts playing.
So Beck, I haven't seen
in clubs in Tokyo.
Okay, so last one.
Oh, I don't know. There's a Rasengan and a Kamehameha clashing in my mind.
I know. I can see it happening. I can see it happening.
I guess I'll just say Hamtaro then.
Hamtaro? My answer is gonna be super fucking barista.
Oh, I like it.
Get in there.
My number one.
Talk to me.
And almost kind of in the same way that you hold
I agree
One Piece,
next.
Cowboy Bebop.
Oh, sure. No, that's valid. That's valid. That's massive.
I don't think should even be counted as. It's the only show on IMDb's top 100 shows list that is an anime.
Wait, is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's incredible. It's incredible.
It is perfect. I'm gonna go Gurren Lagann.
I saw it.
A perfect example of the Chinese box, where it's like this idea that we're going to start with something small. We're going to give you such a limited perspective. And by the end, the show is something completely different than what you thought it was. The most recent example of this, and I almost want to put it in my top 4 of all time, Fire Force is so fucking unreal by the end of that show.
I can't believe the rave reviews I'm hearing about Fire Force.
I'm going to go Steins Gate. Number 3.
Oh, people keep...
Chris loves that.
I have to do it. Naruto, man.
Yeah. Naruto.
Naruto is so...
Naruto.
Okay. Some of the fights in that...
Okay.
Dude.
Whose list is winning right now? Patrick or Will's? Because I'm not going to lie, Patrick was starting off strong. I'm not going to lie. But I've never seen Beck. And then nostalgia for Hamtaro. I love the nostalgia pick. Let's keep it 1,000. Hamtaro and a Mount Rushmore is out of this universe. But I will say One Piece, the Digimon fans are definitely going to pull for Digimon. I haven't seen Beck, so I'm gonna leave Beck, but you know, my goat is in his list, so I like that. Will's coming in with Cowboy Bebop. That's a classic. Gurren Lagann, another classic. Very, very good. I'm noticing a lot of shorter anime on his list, but no issue. Steins Gate, we all love Steins Gate. I've never heard anybody say Steins Gate is bad. And then obviously Naruto. Will's is more an average, where it's like Patrick is going for like the deep cut stuff for real, and then obviously he has Goat Piece. I mean, you know me, it's hard to vote against One Piece for me, but like I feel you said nobody know that Hamtaro. Nah, listen, Hamtaro, people know Hamtaro. It's just I would never throw Hamtaro in a Mount Rushmore, and I love Hamtaro, but it's not Mount Rushmore.
Fucking give it to me.
he said Jared's winning. Jared didn't even do anything yet.
Lee versus Gaara.
Rock Lee versus
I think
Gaara,
is the greatest fight.
We lost
on that one. We lost on that one.
What do you mean?
We there was like a thing where it was like at most epic anime fight or something, and instead of picking Rock Lee versus Gaara, we picked Naruto versus Sasuke.
Yeah, and which wasn't on there. They had Rock Lee
That's
versus
crazy.
Gaara on there, but they didn't have Naruto versus Sasuke on there. I think Naruto versus Sasuke at the end of the original show is the best.
I
shit.
think Rock Lee versus Gaara, the reason it's on there is everybody remembers
it's good.
The weight drop.
Good. Number 1 is Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, nice.
There it is.
Dude, I
There
still
it is.
watch Mustang taking out.
It's tight.
We knew Full Metal was gonna make it here. I was like, there's no way somebody doesn't say Full Metal.
Number 2, I hate having an anime that's on somebody else's list on this top 4. I wish that we all had different ones, but One Piece is the
Fair.
I
It's
think
the GOAT. It's the
I
GOAT at
think-
this point.
I
It's
thi-
the LeBron James of anime. It's been running for a million years.
Yeah, Jared is hooping right now. I'm keeping a buck. Jared is going crazy right now.
Gaming surpassed and it's fucking crazy. I think like the thing I could say about One Piece is that I found myself being told the greatest story ever told.
Yeah.
I didn't I went in being told that it was the best anime, and it took a long fucking time for that to be remotely true.
Yeah.
When it started becoming true, I was like, oh, I think I can see why
I think
people
the
say that.
scale of it is
It's
so
immense.
incredible.
It's immense. It's down to the tiniest detail. Number 3 for me is Yu Yu Hakusho.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yu Yu Hakusho.
Hold on, Jared. Chill out.
I think
Chill
Yu
out.
has the
Oh
best
my
single
God.
tournament arc.
That's whatever.
Dark Tournament
Yeah.
is-
Pleasure doing business with you.
It's
Oh
the
my
rock.
God.
It is the rock that all tournament arcs were built upon.
I have been saying this for forever. Season 2 of Yu Yu Hakusho is
Urameshi. Urameshi. Let me fight him, Urameshi.
number 4 is tough. I feel the same way where I feel like I have like a lot of ones that I've spent a lot of time with. But I can't say, this sucks for me too, because like I love Dragon Ball so much, but I can't say that Dragon Ball or Z or Super or any of them crack the top 10 for me, because they were great and they were terrible. I think I'm gonna go with Berserk.
Oh, right.
Oh, wow.
Still haven't
and
watched that
it's-
because
it's
Okay. Yo, Berserk got dropped? Yeah, Jared, that list is crazy. Yeah,
because
Jared,
Berserk
I'm
is
going
not,
Team Jared.
It's
for
a
real.
one arc.
Yeah, it's not fully. It's not like the. It's the best manga I've ever read in my life. But
Yeah.
that arc of Berserk is like some of the best fiction I've ever experienced in my life. I love it so much.
It feels like that first arc, because it's detached from the actual manga. The manga is great, but that first arc feels like one of the great unfinished stories of all time. You're a big fan.
Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of you guys say, yeah, Jared cooked. Yeah, let's go, Jared. He cooking. Yeah, I mean, I don't think these are accurate Mount Rushmores, but I think for their top 4s of what they're bringing in, like, yeah, I got to go with Jared's for sure. That was crazy. You got Goat Piece, you got Berserk with the Full Metal too. Yeah, you got everything. You really touch on everything. And Yu Yu Hakusho. That was just crazy for. Well, let's move on. Okay, so we got the homie Bash talking about Talk No Jutsu. All right, let's see what he has to say.
To this day, too many people still misunderstand the meaning behind the Talk No Jutsu. Because let's be clear, this isn't a magical speech that immediately turns evil people into good guys. Naruto reaches the villains because he recognizes the wounded person that is hiding underneath their ideology. Gaara believed that he could only live for himself, but Naruto, on the other hand, understood that same level of childhood isolation. Nagato justified violence through the cycle of hatred, while Naruto was standing in front of his master's killer, holding that hatred to himself. Obito completely dismissed reality as meaningless. Yet Naruto recognized that abandoned child who once dreamed of becoming Hokage. You guys have to keep in mind that Naruto doesn't necessarily approach these villains as someone who is morally superior to them. He approaches them as someone who could have become them but chose a different route. And these conversations normally take place after the battle between them expose the contradictions in their beliefs. Naruto doesn't necessarily excuse their crimes or erases their responsibility. He forces them to confront the person that they were before the pain changed their entire personality. And that is the real power behind the Talk No Jutsu. Naruto can look at a monster, identify the human in them, and prove that their suffering never made their actual choice inevitable.
That's a really great breakdown, because Naruto does do that. You know, he puts himself in the villain's shoes. That's why he's able to relate to them. That's why his conversation with Nagato was able to work. I think this was a great breakdown. This is great for Naruto's PR too. I definitely agree with what he's talking about. I do get the memes though of Talk No Jutsu as well, because sometimes you want your villains to just be like, you know what, I hear you, but I don't really hear you. We still got a box anyway. And not saying that doesn't happen in Naruto, but I think it speaks more to Naruto's greatness that he's still able to have a conversation with enemies that really do not want to talk. And we can even relate it to how Deku was when he was trying to reach Shigaraki's heart. His backstory is so sad. He was so bottled up. He's like, I don't even want to talk to anybody. I just want the world to be destroyed. And Deku had to find a way to like actually move Shigaraki emotionally. That's something that I feel like Naruto could pull off. If you were to put Naruto into the My Hero Academia verse, Deku's biggest feat of breaking into Shigaraki Shigaraki's psyche and helping him emotionally and psychologically is something that Naruto just does on a regular. So for me, I'm like, yeah, I love this take a lot. But we've also seen bad cases of talk no jutsu, or just ways where fights that were supposed to happen did not happen because of some BS on the sides. Fairy Tail, I'm kind of looking at you a little bit. That's more the power of friendship, but I still will never forgive them for that Grand Magic Games Urza Scarlet versus Kagura from Mermaid's Heel. I will never, ever, ever forgive him for that. I was ready. I said, yo, Urza just came off of doing the 1 versus 100. Kagura from Mermaid's Heel had all this hype. She had the sword ready to go. And she was fighting with the sword unsheathed. This is how crazy. I said, nah, hold on. And then they just got bodied. So I will never listen. That Fairy Tail version is an example of a bad talk no jutsu or power of friendship type of thing. But overall, this is great for Naruto's PR. But yeah, let's move on. Okay, so we're getting more Bleach love today. Which is the better Bleach fight?
Which is the better Bleach fight? Ichigo versus Ukiura or Kenpachi versus Noitra?
Ichigo versus Ukiura.
Ichigo versus Ukiura.
Because Kenpachi versus Noitra was fire too. But yes, Ichigo versus Ukiura has to take it. The Setos, the Vassal Lord Ichigo, like yes.
Or Byakuya versus Renji?
Ichigo versus Ukiura.
Ichigo versus Ukiura or Ichigo versus Grimmjow?
Ukiura.
Ichigo versus
Ichigo versus Ukiura versus Ichigo versus Grimmjow. She went with Ukiura. I'm a big fan of the Vassal Lord Ichigo transformation. I think that fight was a lot of fun. I would probably have to go with Grimmjow though. And that's just because Grimmjow to me felt more like a rival to Ichigo. I know some people like Ukiura more, but I just enjoyed the Grimmjow situation a lot more. It felt like a Naruto versus Sasuke at Final Valley. Whereas like Ukiura felt more like this is like a monster that I gotta defeat. So I need to like transform into something that I can't even recognize. Like I can't even recognize my own self to take him down. Grimmjow, I feel like they both have more control in the fight. It was more equal. So I would probably go with the Grimmjow fight there, but let's keep going.
Ukiura or Yamato versus Yuabaha?
Ukiura.
Ichigo versus...
Yo, the Ukiura is getting the hype over Yamamoto versus Yuha. There is a technicality here. Yamamoto technically didn't really fight Yuhaba. When you really look at it, he technically didn't really fight him. You know what I'm saying? He fought a doppelganger. But in all honesty, I feel like I was more hyped to see Yamamoto's Bankai in action. Listen, the fight with Ukiura and Ichigo was cool. I get it. But seeing Yamamoto's Bankai in action was ridiculous. I think that was unbeatable for me. I would probably switch there. Like the fight itself was not really crazy because he was fighting a doppelganger and the doppelganger was really just trying to stall for time. But outside of that, like it really was a lot of fun watching Yamamoto finally release his Bankai and go crazy.
Versus Ukiura or Ichigo versus Byakuya?
Ukiura.
Ichigo versus Ukiura or Ichigo versus Aizen?
Ukiura.
Ukiura over Ichigo versus Aizen fight? For real? Whoa. I'm not there. The Aizen fight? Yeah, Mugetsu? That's wild. I thought the Aizen fight was dope. Yeah, Mugetsu was way better than Vassal Lord. I agree. Anime is Ukiura, manga is Aizen. For real? I think both, even anime, I enjoyed the anime fight with Ichigo and Aizen. Mugetsu doesn't even fight. It's just one slash and it's over. I know, but the aura though. That's Ichigo's most aura farming moment. It really is.
Versus Ukiura or Ichigo versus Kenpachi?
That's a very good fight. I mean, in the beginning, yes. I'm still gonna say Ukiura. I'm gonna say, yeah.
I would go Ukiura here.
Ichigo versus Ukiura or Uyu versus Mayuri?
Ichigo and Ukiura.
Ichigo versus Ukiura or Renji versus Byakuya?
Nah, Ukiura all the way. Vassal Lord is like the best. Wakamundo is best arc. Best soundtrack. Yeah, come on.
Ichigo versus Ukiura or Ichigo versus Yuabaha?
I'm just gonna say Ukiura just because we haven't seen all of Yuabak. We're just
that's happening now.
I would say that. I would
that's
say
happening
Yuabak,
now.
but not yet. Not yet.
Right, we gotta wait for
that's
it.
Fair. It's happening right now.
Wait for it.
Is Ichigo versus Ukiura the best fight in Bleach?
Yes, 1000%. I think he's the best fight in all anime. I don't care. I'll stand by it. I'll stand by. That's the best anime fight.
So she has Ichigo versus Ukiura as the best fight in Bleach. Me, I really love Ichigo versus Grimmjow. That's one of my favorite fights in Bleach of all time. Blaze, you said one of my next favorite fights of all time, Kenpachi versus Gremmy. I think it was a really cool fight to watch just because Gremmy could technically do whatever he wanted and Kenpachi had to figure out a way to surpass that. I mean, Mayuri's fight against the Soul King's arm was great. I also like Shunsui versus Coyote Stark. Bleach has a lot of great fights. Shunsui versus Lil Baro, that fight was also incredible. That's why I'm like, Ichigo versus Ulquiorra is a great fight, but if you start going into 1,000 Year Blood War, there's a lot of heat that's dropping right now. Yeah, Uryu versus Jugram, yeah, yo, that fight is tough. That fight, yo, that's what I'm saying, yo, 1,000 Year Blood War fights have been going absolutely insane. Even Ichibe versus Yobak was really fun to watch. All right, y'all, but let's move on. We got my guy Anime Sundays here asking, which is the better anime title?
Which is the better anime job title or position? Hokage or King of the Pirates?
King of the Pirates. Because I feel like with King of the Pirates, you have more freedom.
King of the Pirates?
W answer. King of the Pirates versus Hokage. Blake, you're saying Hokage. For me, I think when it comes to freedom, I think King of the Pirates is probably like the ultimate choice rather. Hokage, it depends. One, you have to deal with more politics than you would as the King of the Pirates. King of the Pirates, you're really just free. You could let other people do that for you if you really want to, and you're just free to do whatever. Hokage, you have to deal with politics, but then you don't know who's going to be outside. When you achieve King of the Pirates, it's pretty much universally known that you're going to have unbelievable power and hockey to achieve that point. Hokage, there's a limit. If you reach this limit here, you are Hokage level, but even being Hokage level, like there's still people out there that could be much, much stronger. If you're King of the Pirates, you gotta be one of the strongest automatically. It's almost a prerequisite. Like you being a Kage of your village doesn't mean automatically that you're one of the top 5 strongest in your world. You still will have to deal with people that are much, much stronger than you. King of the Pirates, there's not gonna be that many people stronger than you, if at all. Roger did nothing with that power. Emu's still running around because Roger felt, from what we saw, he was too early, and obviously if he's following the prophecy, he was most likely right. But again, as Ophelia is saying here, Roger let himself get captured, so he would have been free and he was strong enough to stay free. So we have to understand that the only reason Roger is not here right now is because 1, he was sick, and then 2, he allowed himself to be caught. That's how free the King of the Pirates is. That's why everybody's gunning for it. Why do you think Big Mom and all these people, why do you think they're doing so much to become King of the Pirates? Like becoming Hokage is extremely tough, but I think King of the Pirates is even harder, which is why I feel like it's that more satisfying once you reach that level.
Or the Wizard King?
King of the Pirates.
Oh, King of the Pirates versus the Wizard King. I think I still would go King of the Pirates too.
Okay. King of the Pirates or the #1 hero? Now, obviously, I remember King of the Pirates, you are getting hunted for the rest of your life.
I would probably say #1 hero.
So the #1 hero of My Hero Academia or King of the Pirates? I think I would still want King of the Pirates over the #1 hero. #1 hero, you have to be ridiculously strong to achieve that title, but you have way less freedom because of what you represent. All Might could never let people see him in a weak state because he is the symbol of peace. So if All Might is having a bad day, nobody can view him. It starts to feel very, I wouldn't say dystopian, but you get like the 2B Hero X type of vibe. Nobody can see me this way. I wouldn't want to deal with that. If Roger is sick, he's still outside. Roger has a bad day, he's still outside. You could just do whatever. You don't have to worry about optics or anything. Claptrap, you said, is it true freedom though? Not exactly, because people will still try to capture you. Garp will still try to capture Roger. Shiki at one point was trying to recruit Roger. Becoming King of the Pirates definitely puts a target on your back. But what I'm saying is that in order to even become King of the Pirates, you already have to be ridiculously powerful to protect that title. So it's kind of like a prerequisite. Like you can't be the King of the Pirates without going through the necessary steps of being him. #1 hero, you have to be him. My thing is that you don't have freedom on how you want to move though.
Hero or Pokemon champion?
#1 hero.
#1 hero or Pokemon champion? Man, Pokemon champion, that would be a lot of fun. I think I would go Pokemon champion here.
#1 hero or the strongest sorcerer in Jujutsu Kaisen?
The strongest sorcerer in Jujutsu Kaisen.
Hell nah. Nah, leave me alone. The strongest sorcerer in JJK, I want no parts. Leave me alone from, I don't want to be in JJK at all. First of all, the JJK power system is built off curse energy, negativity. You have to go through negativity to level up. Leave me out of that verse, bro. Yeah, Sukuna and Kenjaku on your back, yeah. I'm cool off that.
Strongest sorcerer or what they call the Demon King and Demon Slayer, Muzan?
The strongest sorcerer, because if I am the king of demons, right, I'm gonna die to the sun.
I can agree there. If it's between these two evils, I would probably go with the strongest sorcerer, just because, like she said, if you're in the sun, it's a wrap. You can never be out during the daylight. So I agree there.
Strongest sorcerer or the Omni King from Dragon Ball Z?
The Omni King.
Oh, facts. Yes, but you also have a lot to deal with politically as well, right? You're dealing with stuff on a multiversal scale, which just sounds daunting. I'm not gonna lie. But anything is better than being in the JJK verse, except for like Demon Slayer, but anything else. So give me that.
The Omni King or the Soul King?
Omni King.
Yeah.
Would you rather have the title of the Omni King over all anime titles, or do you have something that you'd rather personally be?
I'd probably stick to the Omni King, not gonna hold you.
Yeah, it's pretty OP.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Omni King is the rank 1 job title. Honestly, out of all the job titles that were listed here, I'm looking at King of the Pirates or Pokemon Champion. Those two to me sound like, again, King of the Pirates, you get a lot of freedom and you have to be strong in order to get that. So if I'm King of the Pirates, I'm going to be strong by default. But then also Pokemon Champion, the amount of hype, the amount of sauce you would get in the Pokemon world by being champion, it would be a lot of fun. So I appreciate you guys coming through, and this is the first time I've ever done a Hot Takes Anime TikTok live. So thank you guys for sticking around.